Hello, my amazing audience. How are you all doing today? Okay, my name is Olorun Damilola, and we're back to our series. You know, it's a journey, and we're back into another series, a continuation of the first that we have. So I welcome you, and this time around, we're going to be looking at how we all can support our children's emotional development. That's what we're focusing on. The whole series, all the videos in this series are going to be focusing on that. Okay, are you joining us for the very first time? Wow, you are welcome. And if you'd like to get a deeper understanding of what we are doing here, you may need to go back and watch our series. We had some videos that came before now that will give you a better understanding of what our discussions are or our learning are, so you can flow along with us. And also, let me seize this opportunity to tell us that we will be using some keywords. They will come like repetitions, but it is intentional. It is intentional because they are foundations on which we build, other things that matters in these discussions. This will go on throughout the series. And then remember also, we are 0 to 5. Our brains are still developing. So we don't know what you know. We're just coming up. So bear with us. So we do a lot of repetition. This will come. When it does, don't feel bored. No. Instead, get a better understanding, because that's what we're working on. And so today we will be looking at the topic, helping children name their feelings and calm down. Helping children name their feelings and calm down. That's what we'll be doing in this first video. Let me start with something you're familiar with. So listen up. A child is playing. Your child is playing. Everything seems fine. Then suddenly, he or she starts crying, even throws things or even hit things. And as an adult, you're wondering, what's going on? What's happening? What's wrong with you? That's the way we adults think, isn't it? But here's the thing. In many of such moments in the lives of these children, you see it as behavior. They don't see it as behavior. They see it as big feelings deep inside of them. They are feeling it inside of them, but they cannot name them. They can't tell you what these things are, but they just know it as a feeling. And we are not helping by naming it behavior. Now, this is where the whole thing changes. When you come to play the role in your child's life as a helper, wanting to help him or her name that feeling, then the game changes. You just see a shift. Remember, that child is having a feeling, there's a need. Doesn't know what to call the need. You're tagging it, you're naming it behavior, this misbehaving, and all the rest of it. This child is not shifting, it's staying there, telling you it's a feeling, it's communicating, there's something, but you need to find out. But because you now want to take up a role of finding out what this feeling is and giving it a name, that's where the whole thing changes. Because once you give it a name, that child's feeling will change. His reaction that makes you say he's misbehaving will change automatically. And so come along with me and let's find out how this, plays out. So ordinarily, if you want to say he's misbehaving, you understand, it's because of the way he reacted. Then you now change and say, come on, let me just pause a bit. How about if I ask, what is this child feeling? There are two different things. What is wrong with you? You're misbehaving. Why are you misbehaving? It's different from, come, you're hurting, isn't it? You're not feeling good, isn't it? There are two different things. And the child himself or herself can see the difference. Because you came, with an intention of finding out what this is and ready to help. You were calm. You understand? You're coming, you're calm. And in asking your concern, you're showing care, you're showing I'm here for you. That's the difference. That's what brings about, the shift. And once this is done, the child also plays along with you. So in general, one of the most powerful things we can do is to help them name the feelings. Once we help them name the feelings, the problems will begin to solve. And then calming down will set in. Calming down will set in. You see, while he or she was shouting and crying, and you two are shouting back and crying, nothing is happening. No. Nothing is happening. But when you come approaching in a calm way and, trying to throw some questions, and the child is beginning to, not to say in affirmation of whatever it is you're asking, that is to tell you help is on the way and answers are just at the corner. So because at that point in time, once you find out that this child is upset because he's hungry, you understand? Because are you hungry? And the child goes like this. Do you feel like sleeping? And the child goes like this. You have mentioned two words that the child never knew before your comment, your question. Hungry and sleepy. He wants to sleep. He doesn't know anything like that. But because you have brought it on, he's also processing and recording it. And the more frequently you use these terms, especially when they act in the way and manner in which they acted the first time, that cry, if he cries or she cries again and you come watch and say, are you hungry? And it goes like this. So you have recorded that this act would always come most probably when the child is hungry. And because you're repeating it, the child also is learning that, oh, okay, so I'm hungry. That is the word for this action or acts of mine. And that's how they build up this name, and keep them as vocabulary, from one to the other. They can be hungry. It can be because they're feeling sleepy. It can be because they're tired. It can be because they're angry, they're sad. Something has happened to their toys. It could be anything. And once they start to name those things, the shift has taken place. And their emotion now becomes, less overwhelming. You understand? It becomes something, that they are beginning to take control of without even knowing it. It's a gradual process. And that's where calming proper begins. Calming down proper begins. So instead of crying, for example, the child can just come and tell you exactly what they want. How do we then help them to begin to calm down? We start by giving the right words. So I'll give you some examples. In moments like this, you can say, I can see you upset. It looks like you're angry. Are you feeling sad? Those are questions you throw. While you're asking these questions, they are listening to you. So the level of shouting will reduce until, because they are now seeing that you're asking some questions and they are thinking about it to answer you. So you are not correcting behavior first. That's not what you're doing. You are actually helping them to understand what is happening inside of them. That's what those questions are doing to those children. And you are guiding them towards, how to calm down. And eventually they get there. So it could be, something simple, that you are doing to help, the calming down process. You could say, let's take a walk. And then you keep rubbing your hands at the back of the child. You could say, let's sit down, together. I'm here with you. And you sit the child down and you're talking, looking straight into the eyes of the child and seeing all the reactions. You could also say, you know what? Put your head on my, chest, and you pat and you say, you're safe. I'm here for you. All of this is doing one or more. When that child is already bonding is taking place already between you and that child. Secondly, that child is building trust, is building confidence, is telling himself or herself, anytime I'm in this kind of position, I know who to run to. Why? Because you have submitted yourself to, giving in yourself completely to, I'm here for you. Just tell me what it is. and we'll fix it together. That's what that child is hearing. So all of these things would help the child to further calm down and think about what you're saying. Remember, the brain is still developing. And so all of those things are not just there yet, but this is the process, of the child getting there. You're not forcing the child to say, sit down there, listen to me, listen to me. That's not what you're doing. You're telling the child, would you rather that we walk, take a walk? You haven't given the child an option. And all is, by the nodding of the head or holding your hands and you see them pulling you to let's go. It could be, okay, sit down, and they sit you. As soon as you sit, the child sits on your lap. It could be that way, you understand? Or just come rest the head on your chest. All of this is part of helping them to get to where where they're going, and you already are helping them too. This teaching, once it's consistently done, I can tell you, you will arrive safely. So let's reflect. I want you to think about not just your child at this time, children around you. The next time, they act out, rather than tag or name, just pause and ask yourself, what might this child be feeling? When you ask yourself that question, you will be able to help the child, because now you know that this act that we're talking about is not just an act, it is a need, it is a feeling, and the feeling is big, it's intense. And so you're careful about how to answer that child, how to provide a solution to that child. Now, your call to action for me is, we may not be able to do this at once, but start small today. Today, right after you listen to this video, start today. Just take a moment, to do this. And what you do is, instead of reacting, to the behavior, adults' behavior, help your child or that child, to name that feeling that is inside of them, that feeling that is making them to react the way they are reacting, and you calling or tagging that reaction misbehavior or this or that. I can tell you for free, once you do that, honestly, you see changes. You will see changes. They are children, but these changes will automatically just start coming. And what you need to do is build upon it, let it grow. So we've come to the end of today's discussion about how to help our children name and calm down, name their feelings and calm down. And I'd like you to, again, invite your friends by subscribing to this channel of mine, and let them come in and see what we're doing. And I'm sure they can relate with this. Everybody, every mother, caregiver, teacher, school owners, nannies, name them, our grandparents, play it, sit down with them and let them watch. We can all relate to this. Help tell others to subscribe. Let them like too, and press the notification button so that when I come next online, you will be notified. I hope to see you in my next video. Thank you.